Hey, I'm still on spring break, so let's continue talking about really obscure Japanese albums that I personally love. Last time I got to yell about Bakyun the Everyday's New Boys, New Girls, New City Punk. This time, we're going in a completely different direction, with an obscure manga tie-in shibuya-kei album from the 90s, The French Operation by Girls B, which, first off, one of my favorite album covers of all time. I mean, that's the main reason this album ever caught my attention in the first place. This album came out in 1997 and was a tie-in to the romance manga Boys B, which is apparently just some 90s high school romance drama crap. Doesn't seem particularly interesting or really worth reading nowadays. Which makes you wonder how they got from that to spy thriller shibuya-kei. Shout out to Rate Your Music user Saruba Doru for linking an interview and translating a bit about this album in the comments there, because that's where I'm gonna get this info from. This was, as mentioned, a tie-in with Boys B. They tried to do J-pop in an anime song context, and it flopped pretty bad, because it turns out the kind of people who buy CDs based on high school romance mangas don't really care about idol J-pop too much. Especially since this doesn't really have a lot to do with the source material in any way. So they decided they were gonna end the group and just put out one more album. The group's producer, Masao Fukuda, realized that since the group's ending regardless, he could just kinda do whatever he wanted. So he called in some members from shibuya-kei bands Pizzicato 5 and Original Love and made The French Operation. And then the interview goes on to talk about how this was basically the first shibuya-kei album in an anime or manga context, which would go on to become a lot more of a thing half a decade later, with groups like Roundtable featuring Nino doing anime themes for Chobits and Welcome to the NHK. This album was way ahead of its time, and they even talk about that a bit in the interview. And hey, it's 27 years on, and this album is still really overlooked, especially considering it's some of the best shibuya-kei I've ever listened to. Like, this thing is awesome. It's just probably not helped by the fact that this thing is completely unavailable on streaming and wasn't on YouTube until about 2 years ago. Meaning really, the only way to listen to this was either to care enough about it to torrent it, or own it physically. This is a weirdly themed album. There's 14 tracks here, of which 6 are interludes, and they are all over the place. Judging by the cover, the title, and some of the interludes, you'd think it's spy-themed, but then some of the interludes break into rap, cheesy romance movie stuff, and a lot of stuff that can really only be described as someone bought a new keyboard last week and just wanted an excuse to show it off. There's also a couple lines of French on the album, and like the CD spine has the French flag on it. It almost feels like there's more France in the packaging than the actual album at points. The first intro track really goes in on the spy theme. You've got some car crash noises and what I think is a movie sample, but then it's got those big, loud, gaudy trumpets that are like, yeah, this is a 70s spy thriller. It's fun, instrumental, and probably a little misleading considering the shibuya-kei that follows. Like the next track, Zetai Dame, is kinda nothing like that intro. It's a pop rock song with vocal cadences that feel borrowed from ska for some reason. It's catchy though, it's got a really fun chorus, and overall it's just a really solid J-pop song. But the big standout on this album is the fourth song, Who Are You?, which is the best shibuya-kei song I've ever heard. It's 6 minutes long, but it's packed full of smooth melodies on top of a really slick instrumental that's taking cues from like bossa nova type stuff. It's a magical song that, despite its length, is so much fun that it feels like it passes in no time at all. It's a song that's really easy to just let wash over you and get lost in. If someone were to put together a seamless 1-hour loop of this thing on YouTube, I'd probably listen to it. I wish it did last an hour because it's such an amazing vibe. It also really shows off the musicianship that's on display on this album. You don't typically get a lot of opportunities for this kind of musicianship to shine on idol records, but hey, they're basically playing with house money at this point. Why not throw a jazzy synth solo halfway through the idol pop song? Who cares? Who Are You is infectiously fun, and it's an unstoppably good time. That song also plays really well into the next one, Sutakina Doctor, which is another very laid-back pop song. Despite playing off Who Are You though, it doesn't feel samey at all. It's still very distinct. It's another jazzy, kinda bossa nova inspired pop song with more really smooth vocals. The instrumental's pretty groovy, and again, it's just infectiously fun. It's the kind of stuff that can cheer you up even when you're having a really bad day. It's really good. And both idols, who were pretty new on the scene when this group happened, really shine. Like, with the level of songwriting and musicianship, you might think their performances could end up as a bit of an afterthought in retrospect, but they're killing it. Like on Sashiru no Yakusoku, which is taking a bit more from dance pop with a prominent thumping kick drum and glittery synths. They both have a very soft and breathy singing style, which works well with the delicate feeling instrumental, not just on that track, but all over over this album. Like another great example, Mayanaka ni Oideo. It's got a delicate feeling chill instrumental and a super catchy chorus, and the girls are killing it. Plus, all this really sweet singing also allows the album to jump scare you with random car crash noises in the interludes, which is a fun thing that happens on this album. Look, Western indie music fans love their soft-spoken, dreamy Japanese pop music. That's why Lamp is so popular. That's why everyone loves Ichiko Alba. That's why Uchu no Koko, Pasteboard, and Pitcher 56 have all caught on over here. That's why I heard the guy in the room next to me blasting Poison Girlfriend the other day. The only thing holding the French operation back from acquiring the same status is that it isn't on streaming sites, so it can't get the algorithm boost. Like, it has the awesome album cover, the really delicate vocals, the relaxed, jazzy instrumentals. It's like 95% of the way to being a J-pop cult classic, and somehow no one has ever heard of it, which is a shame. The album fully embraces its jazz pop elements towards the end, like on Pari no Fun, which basically translates to dog shit in Paris, and Koneko to Ojisan. Both of these really embrace the more tropical bossa nova elements of the album and put them to use in really slick pop songs. They're both really good, especially the ending of the latter song, which builds upon itself until it climaxes in one of the most energetic moments on the whole album. Akarui is the closing track if you discount the interlude that's basically a jump scare rehash of the first track. My feelings on it are pretty similar to Who Are You? It's another long 6-minute track that I'd love to just get lost in. Like, I could listen to this thing on loop forever. It's really fun, it ends the album on a really high note. And then the outro starts with quiet audio of children playing on a playground, before jumping immediately into the Spy movie opener with no warning, which did actually scare me the first couple times I heard this. The French operation is great. Like I said earlier, this album feels so close to blowing up in the West and really in indie music circles in general. If this thing was on Spotify, I guarantee you so many more people would have listened to this by now, and it'd be rapidly gaining steam in the same way an album like Her Abiding Memory is. There's a lot of comparisons you can draw between the two. Really pretty cover, hushed whispered vocals, and good chill pop music. I see no reason why this couldn't get big in the same way. Really, I think within the next couple years, this album's gonna gain a lot of popularity, and I'm so here for it. Maybe this album has finally, 27 years later, found its time. Thank you for watching the second in my spring break video series. Please sub if you like my channel. Love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!